My name is Nnedi Okorafor. I'm a professor at the University of Buffalo, New York, and I'm also a writer. And the reason why I chose to write fantasy / magical realism is really it started with the very first story that I wrote. It's just the way that I see the world. I see the world as a magical place. So when I sat down to write stories, and the first story that I wrote was realistic. It was realism. It was a true story that happened to myself and my sisters. And when I wrote that story, the magical things just kind of came out. You know, they came out in the story that I was writing. So it's really more about the way that I see the world. And then at some point, the more that I wrote, the more that I felt confident about portraying those magical things that I would see or that I would imagine and putting that in my work. So at that point, I jumped the rails from magical realism to flat out fantasy, where things are just really, the magical aspects are much stronger. When I sit down to write something, a lot of times I don't even know what I'm going to write. I'll just sit down. I'm a very unconscious writer. I don't need to have a full fleshed out outline. I don't need to know exactly where I'm going. I can just sit down. I'll just have an emotion and I'll sit down, or a character, and I'll sit down and just start writing. And in the process of writing that, because I'm a thinker and I'm a very political person, and I have very, very strong opinions and ideas, those naturally come out. So when I finish writing something, when I look back, it may seem like I had a strong message to portray, but it wasn't necessarily that I sat down to write that message. It just comes forth naturally, organically. I think that Africa is getting, from literature, literature is holding up a mirror to Africans as a whole. And we know, like, I'm speaking about Africa as a continent. It's a big, huge, diverse place with thousands and thousands of cultures and languages and ideas. So that said, I think that literature provides Africa with a mirror to inspect itself. Also, certain types of literature, especially science fiction, for example, and a lot of the fantastical literatures kind of push African readers to imagine and think beyond what's there, and in doing so, giving African readers, equipping them with the tools necessary to solve problems, to come up with new things and improve life, all sorts of things. So I think that African literature is a big imaginative tool, and imagination is very necessary for any people.